What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Ford File. And today's case file is the Delta variant of COVID and how this July 4th and beyond you should fight against all the possible restrictions that might be coming with this, and how these governments, especially Democrat-controlled state and local governments, are going to continue infringing on your rights. So we'll start with the details about this Delta variant. It originated in India. You remember a few months ago where India was having real trouble with this outbreak of COVID, and that's what this was the Delta variant. And I remember when they asked Biden if he would help them by sending vaccines, and Biden was like, no. I remember that specifically, and also that Biden never closes our border to India, like how Trump did with China when the original outbreak started, and when we first heard about it. Anyway, while China was covering it all up, but we'll get to that in a second. And remember how Biden didn't close the border to India, and now it's spreading here in the U.S. Not that it's not much of a concern anyway, because COVID is not that deadly of a disease, but still. And remember how they were all saying that, all the deaths of COVID in the United States are because of Trump. It's all Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault. Then by that logic, this Delta outbreak is Biden's fault because he didn't close our border to India, and he didn't help them by sending vaccines over there. So, and also by that logic, do other world leaders take the blame for all the deaths that were in their country, or is it just Trump because Trump's responsible for every single bad thing that's ever happened in the history of Earth? Classic TDS, that's Trump derangement syndrome for those unaware. Very, very common, many such cases with libtards. And about the Wuhan lab and how Dr. Fauci and other U.S. officials were help funding the Wuhan lab in China, and if I made this video back in April, not only would this video get taken down, but probably my channel as well, for spreading disinformation about COVID-19 pandemic. But now, since all these mainstream news and comedians like Jon Stewart were basically accepting that this is true now, then it's okay now to talk about it. It's okay because it's now pretty much being accepted that it's true when it's always been true. It's just that since Trump was the one who was the original one who brought it up, they're like, oh, everything Trump says is bad and he's wrong about everything, when in reality he's right about pretty much everything. So it's just the media hated him, so they weren't gonna give him any credit for anything. Our media, they won't ever dare to criticize a Democrat, but they'll call all Republicans, especially with Trump, it's gone to a whole nother level because he was actually an effective leader, and calling him all these kinds of ridiculous things like Hitler. And I remember when I saw this day where when George W. Bush was president, they were also comparing him to Hitler. They do it to every Republican, but it's just worse with Trump because Trump was actually a great leader and was fighting for the American people. That's why they kicked it up about 17 notches. And all of this, the Delta variant, is setting up for another Democrat-controlled states and cities shut down in the fall, or they'll probably shut down schools again, and their economy. And it's already started to be evident, and especially in California and LA specifically, just suggested people keep wearing masks even if they're vaccinated. So it's just it'll just never end until people actually put their foot down and put a stop to it. And if the and so sorry, Fauci ouchie people, you got your Fauci ouchie, but it's not working out for you. And by the way, if you unironically say that you got the Fauci ouchie, I'm talking to you libtards, you're cringe and everyone knows it. You're just been brainwashed into making Dr. Fraudgy a deity. So I feel really bad for you about that. You're just as bad as the people who wanted to have those vaccinated necklaces just to like, oh, we totally owned the conservatives. We totally owned them, those anti-vax Trumpers. We totally owned them by flexing that we're vaccinated. No, you're not cool. You're cringe. And we're all laughing at you. But we also feel sorry for you just because you're so brainwashed. But maybe a future video and all the cringe and the gaslighting and the brainwashing that this, just during the timeline of this pandemic and all that has been done. But that'll take a while. But I might still do it, especially if you guys want to see it. Anyway, and this madness with all these restrictions and mandates is never going to end unless we, the people, put a stop to it ourselves. Because the government is not just going to give it back. Yeah, they're way too power hungry for that. So we just have to show ourselves that we are done with this. We won't put it up with it anymore. And how to do that is stop wearing masks and start living your life. Do what you want to do without all of these restrictions and mandates. Go see your friends. Go watch a movie. Go everywhere that you want to go. And just live your life. Return to normal. There's no new normal. There's just normal. And we should have returned to it a long time ago. And it's just like this Ben Franklin quote. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. And that's so true. And that if you would sacrifice a little bit of your liberties and your freedoms to get a little temporary safety from the government or whoever, you're going to end up with neither. Because the government will just take advantage of it and continue restricting your rights. They'll just make up reasons to do it and say, oh, this is all for your own good. Because the government knows best. Big Brother knows best. And we don't want that. No one wants that, folks. No one wants that. Unless you're a libtard, then you probably do. But you're not very intelligent anyway. I'll just go ahead and say it, folks. They're not very intelligent. That's a fact. Anyway, and this is especially important for July 4th. That's why I'm making the connection here. And where we're celebrating our Independence Day, our freedoms, and our country. And we have to, and a great way to celebrate that would be to actually get all of our freedoms back. So, and break free from this COVID hysteria. And an Independence Day where the Biden administration is bragging about saving you a whopping 16 cents on hot dogs. Wow. Amazing. Wow. Meanwhile, gas is up $3 nationwide, but we're not here to talk about that. Anyway, and if you support these mask mandates and this COVID hysteria and this dragging on of the pandemic, don't bother celebrating the 4th, because that is about as un-American as it gets, not endorsing civil liberties. And y'all would have supported the British. Y'all would have been redcoats. That's about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And I just want to wish y'all happy 4th, happy Independence Day, and go out and celebrate our country and our freedoms, and take back our freedoms this July 4th and beyond. Never give them up again. Until next time, we can call this case closed.